HiFightIQ, presented by Expanse Energy.
Debut episode, HiFightIQ. Thanks for joining. My name is Brad Barnes. I'm MMA coach, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt out of Midland, Texas, from Bastos BJJ. Joined by a pro MMA fighter and a very handsome young man with a nice beard, Chip Cole. Chip, how's it going?
It's going good. Glad to be here.
So, debut episode. This pretty much is going to be running the same format. For those of y'all that are familiar with Inside the Cage we had on Fox, it's going to be a lot of the same stuff. We're especially going to be dropping boxing gloves as often as possible. We're going to throw them off the table. I think it's good for production value. So what we're going to do is we're going to be spending a lot of time today just running down UFC 211, the most stacked card the UFC's put on in a long time. And we're going to get that started. It'll be when the fireworks kick off for the rest of the event. Yair Rodriguez and Frankie Edgar.
That is a hard one. You know, Frankie Edgar is such a dominant fighter, just such a good overall fighter. But Yair, the way he's been fighting lately, his knockouts, his unorthodox fighting style, his freakishly powerful kicks, it's hard for me to pick one, but I'm going to have to say I'm going to go with Young and go with Yair Rodriguez. I know. Hard to pick against Frankie Edgar.
I honestly don't think that Yair Rodriguez can beat him in this fight. I think it's going to be close. I think this is one of those decisions. Anytime a fight goes to decision, in my mind, it's got to go for Frankie Edgar.
Right.
But man, you've now fought several times. What would you do against somebody like Yair Rodriguez, jumping around, spinning back kicks, the wheel kicks, the whole nine, coming from weird angles? I mean, how would you, as a wrestler, looking at it from Frankie Edgar's standpoint, how do you approach that?
I keep him up against the cage. I take him to the ground, and I mean that's what he's going to do too. That's what he's going to go for. But Yair is hard to keep up with too.
So like it's be pacing and pressure the whole time? Yeah, it's got to be. And again, moving right along to another strong wrestler, Eddie Alvarez, Dustin the Diamond Poirier. This is a contender fight, for sure.
Absolutely.
The thing that's funny about this is we're running through these already, these last three fights. Every single one of these can main event a fight night on Fox or FS1. So it's pretty awesome, and people are pretty fortunate to go see this fight. But Eddie Alvarez, Dustin Poirier, I'm actually looking at Poirier on this at 155 pounds. I think he's not depleted anymore with the weight cut. I think he's got a lot of range on Eddie Alvarez. And, you know, Alvarez has shown the chin can be a little suspect, the body can be a little bit soft from time to time. I'm looking for Dustin Poirier to get the win on this one.
I'm going to have to agree on this one as well. You know, if it hadn't been for Eddie Alvarez just getting knocked out by McGregor, not just, but just recently, which kind of brings your chin down a little bit, I feel like you have to recover from that. I feel like I would have gone with Eddie Alvarez. Right now, I'm gonna have to.
So would you would say then if Eddie Alvarez fought somebody and lost by decision in a 5-round war, you'd say that you would still go with Eddie Alvarez?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
So coming off the knockout's the only thing. Okay.
Yeah, just because with
I'm not disagreeing, but
the way
I think
that Poirier strikes and the way he's been coming into things lately, coming in like a madman, I've got to give it to him off of that.
I think the only knock against Poirier in this fight is, if you notice, has a tendency from time to time, kind of like a Diaz brother. He has a tendency to get a little bit, and we're about to lose that glove. Yeah. I swear to God. This took me all of 10 minutes to set up, so it is what it is. I think he's one of those guys that gets goaded into a brawl a little bit. I think sometimes he fights a little bit too much with this and not enough with this. And that's dangerous when you got a guy like Eddie Alvarez that he's like, man, that's the kind of fight I want. I want dirty, gritty, brawling. So, I mean, if I'm in Eddie Alvarez's corner, I am trying to get Dustin Poirier as pissed off as possible in fight week. Yeah. Try to see if we can get into a little one-on-one fighting in a phone book or a phone booth.
Yeah, I mean I think that also works maybe against him, that he's just coming from being the champion, that he's going to be really gunning to get back in there and try and, I mean, he's not fighting for the championship right now.
Yeah, but he's trying to save face again.
Right.
Yeah.
He's trying to fix that. So who knows if that's going to be good for him or bad for him in the long run. We'll see.
At the end of the day, the 155-pound division is so muddied with who's going to get to fight for a title, interim title, whatever. I mean, it's all up in the air. So Dustin Poirier on this one for me. You're saying the same thing?
I'm saying the same.
Okay, Eddie Alvarez, if you wouldn't have got knocked out your last fight, you had chips picked, so clean it up. The most dominant, best jiu-jitsu player in MMA, Demian Maia fighting Masvidal. I can't pick against Maia. I can't pick against Maia at all, but something tells me this is a really bad matchup.
Yeah.
I don't get what it is. We've seen Masvidal get taken down. We've seen him be put in compromising positions. We've seen him have to fight backwards, like when he fought Al Quinta. So I think some of those things are really bad for Masvidal. But just something about Maia fighting him at this stage in both their careers, I just think that, man, there should have been like, let's wait for a title. I don't know. But I don't know. I have to say, I have to go with Maia. But I just think it's super dangerous. I think the easy bet would say Maia, but I think some people are going to win some money on this one.
Yeah. I was hoping you'd go with Masvidal so I could actually bet against you on this one. Because I'm going to have to stick with Demian Maia. I can see Masvidal getting a knockout or some. He's a very powerful striker. He's proven himself. But Demian Maia's jiu-jitsu, his wrestling, all that, and his striking is the way he's come along in that.
There was that time when Maia looked like he was like, oh, I got to get better at my striking, focus on striking, and then he just became like anti-jiu-jitsu. He wouldn't really take people down. He wouldn't really, like, he just wanted to stay up and pump a jab and try to work 1-2s and kicks. We haven't seen that anymore. Now we've seen go in, power, get in people's faces, get a takedown, and then it's the most efficient, beautiful jiu-jitsu I've ever seen. He's just moving from position to position, no problems. People can't shut him down. But I just think it's going to be hard to do it against Masvidal. I mean, I'll go ahead and go on a limb. I want to say Demian Maia, but something tells me it's Masvidal on this one. That's my sleeper pick for an upset is Jorge Masvidal on this fight. So if you bet a lot of money, split it with me. If you don't bet anything, probably smart. Don't go with me. Co-main event, 115-pound women's title, Joanna. Co-main event, 115-pound women's title, Joanna champion, Jessica Andrade. Chip, what do you think?
I mean, you can't bet against Joanna. She's just too dominant in every position. Her striking is ridiculous. If you watch any videos of her training or any of her fights, I mean, it's just, she's always the bigger person. She's always overpowering. But Andrade is, she's a beast.
She's not going to be the stronger person in this fight. Right. I think all the fights you've seen Joanna have a hard time. And when I say all of them, Claudina Gadelha.
Right.
Those two fights, you saw her have a hard time and have to win by decisions, things like that. Those fights were fights where she was not the physically stronger person. She was bigger with height, but she was not a bigger framed person fighting. And I think that's the same thing with Andrade. If Joanna can defend the takedowns and be okay with having to deal with that pressure, meeting her pressure, I think it's a good fight for her. But, I mean, there's got to be a lot of damage inflicted early to slow down somebody that's physically imposing as Andrade. So I have to go with Joanna. I think she's going to retire undefeated. That's
I agree.
So as far as all my predictions for any card that has her, she wins, period. Nothing else to say. Main event, Stipe Miocic, Junior Dos Santos. This is a rematch. Traditionally, the way rematches go is you have to go with the younger guy. That's just the fight sport, kind of the MMA math you would go with. So I say it's Miocic all the way. I don't think Dos Santos is doing the well-rounded things that Miocic does. I think also career spanning wise, Dos Santos has had a couple wars with Cain Velasquez, 5-round fights, getting beat up from bell to bell. I don't think that does anything to help prolong your career in a good way. So I've got to go with the champ on that one.
Again, like this whole card, I have to agree.
What's funny is we're gonna miss every single one.
Yeah, we're gonna miss all.
That's the way it's gonna go. What do you see any problems that Miocic can have in this?
The only thing I can see really is, JDS is one of the hardest hitters in MMA, but Stipe's already shown that he can take it from him. They're
HiFightIQ, presented by Expanse Energy.